right now.
Of business for United if they are able to do that in this window and get the fees that they value those players at. Very much it feels like still a lot to do for United in terms of sales. We haven't even spoke about the likes of Jadon Sancho, Anthony, Tyrell Malacia, who we know aren't part of the first team picture at Manchester United. So it feels like still a bit of work to do for the likes of Jason Wilcox and Christopher Vervel, the ones really heading Manchester United recruitment in this window.
Daniel, don't go anywhere. Thank you very much for now. Mark, Dan mentioned some of the players there that United are looking to arrange exits for. It feels like they've struggled so far, United, when it comes to player departures. Marcus Rashford being the only high-profile one, really, at this moment in time, a loan to Barcelona. Would you expect things to start accelerating now? Clearly, there may have to be a compromise on United's behalf when it comes to fee and the players' potential when it comes to wages.
This is always one of the problems when you give big contracts to players. It always makes the exits a little bit more tricky because there are only very few clubs in the footballing world that can actually afford these large wages. We know that Marcus Rashford was on in excess of £300,000 a week. He's taken a small pay cut to facilitate that move to Barcelona. And outside of his departure, they've still got these players that are on big wages that they want to try and generate some money for. We know that Real Betis are interested in Anthony off the back of that really successful loan spell last season. However, again, there was a big investment from Manchester United, around £80 million. And again, he's got wages that reflect that, and they can't afford his current wages or the type of transfer fee that Manchester United are looking for. So therefore, that deal's dead in the water at the moment whilst the talks continue. Tyrell Malacia, another player that's not really played a great deal and struggled with injuries. No interest in him as of yet. And we know that Jadon Sancho, whilst he had that reasonably successful loan spell at Chelsea, they didn't want to activate that option to buy him. We know that Borussia Dortmund are at the table, but once again, he's got a year left on his contract with a club option second year, so essentially a year option, but with big wages, teams have to be able to do a deal. So Manchester United's price right now will be at point A, but in 2 weeks' time, when we get closer to deadline day and there's still no movement on those players, Manchester United might have to soften their approach and say, OK, right, this is what we wanted ideally, but actually it's better to get this player off the wage bill and get some form of income than have an unhappy player at Carrington that's not going to be healthy for us, for him, or the bigger picture of the football club. So the stance might change. It's been slow. When you look at other sides like Liverpool, where they've been so effective and proactive in selling players and getting good market value for their players, Manchester United's the other side of the coin, where they've struggled a little bit, but maybe the current regime are just inheriting some of these players that were signed under the Glaziers and not under Ineos.
Plenty going on at